Hey everybody, it's Brian from Colorado Cultures. So we wanted to show you one of our new products that we have. It's going to be called our H2Shroom Fruiting Chamber. So this is really a method that you can use for multitude of techs. So you can basically use it for grain, you can use it bulk to spawn with substrate, or you can use it with just all-in-ones. It's basically a terrarium that's going to stay humidified, and it's going to have positive pressure that's going to keep everything out that might be contaminant that could get into your chamber at certain times. And we're going to show you how to kind of get that set up and put that all together and show you the different techs and how they grow and what the pluses and minuses of them are. I wanted to show you our first one, spawn to bulk. So that would be the traditional way of just mixing your grain with your substrate, putting your trash bag liner in there and basically fruiting it that way. The only difference is you don't have to open it up, you don't have to mist it. All you'll have to do is just set it up, get your humidifier in there, and get your little cycle timer on the right cycle for that particular species of mushroom. That's the cool thing about the H2Shroom, is it can do any type of mushroom. So this would be an example of the spawn to bulk. This is one that we have that's actually colonizing right now. So we have basically our holes covered up with tape that's keeping all of the CO2 kind of contained in there. And you can kind of see how it's kind of has some condensation. That's a good sign. That means there's things happening in there. A lot of life, a lot of microorganisms doing their thing. So the second way, which would be the fastest way, but you wouldn't get as many flushes, that would be just using the grain. And that would be almost like a PF tech when you're using the jars to kind of just fruit off of. So instead of having to mix it with the substrate and wait for it to colonize, we just go basically inoculate, shake our bags like we have in our other tutorial video. And then in a few weeks, we have bags that look like this. And they're going to be completely white. And how you would fruit that is you would just take your fruiting container here that does have a drainage hole. So if you ever get some water buildup, you can just take that out and let it, drain real easy that way. So you take these guys, wouldn't do anything special, just cut them, get them out of the box, or out of the bag, I'm sorry. Get this all nice and cleaned up. We're going to show you how it gets all set up here in a second. And then you would just put them in here like this, and you would let them fruit just side by side. And the cool thing about this is you can actually do two different species at once if you want. So this could be one particular one, say, Lepino, and this one could be a lion's mane. The other way we have is going to be our all-in-ones. So this is really for people that, are really used to this. It's least effort that you would have to do. You would just have to inoculate your grain and your substrate mix and then just let it colonize. Might take a little bit longer than your grains. You just put it in your terrarium like you would your other ones. Put your rubber band where you need it to be, right below the injection port. And then you just cut your tops off like that. And those would go inside of your H2Shroom. Just like so. And again, this you can use a multitude of different species. So you could grow 4 if you really wanted to. But when you buy your kit, we give you 2 of them. So that way you can kind of try out 2 different species or, have 2 times the fun. So, right. Next, we're going to show you how we actually set the tank up itself. And that's basically using every single tech that we just showed you right here. So we wanted to show you what you're going to get when you get our H2Shroom Fruiting Chamber. So it's going to come with our 3-pound sterilized grain, and we're showing you the spawn to bulk method. So that's your grain right there with injection port. We got your pasteurized dimmer dirt right here that's just ready to go. We're going to have a little cycle timer that it comes with, and we'll show you all the little ways to do that. And that's how you're going to grow different types of mushrooms. So we give you a little bit of alcohol, keep everything nice and clean. Comes with the humidifier. Now, this is a special type of humidifier. This one's going to be an ultrasonic humidifier. Definitely going to show you a lot of fog. It's going to get this thing where you can hardly even see inside there. So, but we're going to show you that in just 1 second. Okay. So with that, it also comes with a hose. That's going to go on top of your humidifier. The instructions for your humidifier. And we have some suction cups that kind of go around the hose. So you can kind of place it wherever you need that hose to go. Inside of our thank you bag, we have a few different things than we have in our traditional one. So this is going to have the same thank you card that will have your step-by-step instructions. Liner comes with a scalpel, comes with gloves, comes with all the filter patches that you're going to need. And the cool thing is, we give you one more of these gaskets that is actually a gasket you can use that will close when your tube comes out. And you can see that you've seen those on the top here. So our humidifier is ran just by itself with the cycle timer. That way you have a little hydrometer on the top that isn't really dictating what this guy does right here. So your humidification is going to turn on no matter when you set it, no matter if this thing goes out or not. But if you do like to see what temperature or what humidity you do have, it does come with a little meter right here. And that guy would just go right on the top here. You would cut your little slits and place those right in here, depending on what side you want your humidification to come on. So, and right now we're going to show you kind of that step, putting that together. Okay, and as you see, we got all of our filter patches on. We got our gasket on the side of the humidifier that we want to be set up on, and we have our bigger filter patch on the opposite side. So, with our hydrometer here, we're going to take our alcohol and we're going to basically just spray our hands, spray the little holes. And while we're at it, why don't we just spray that one too? We're going to take our scalpel, that's the disposable, and it's nice and clean. Take that, and we're just going to cut along these little X's here. That's going to allow ourselves to go in there, but when we take it out, it's going to close back up so nothing else can get in there. These are really useful. Okay, and we're going to kind of cut on this side as well. Okay, now taking that scalpel and putting it in a nice safe spot because it is nice and sharp, we're going to basically put our temperature gauge into this hole, which is going to be your little prod. So it'll tell us what temperature. So if we do need to kind of get things warmed up in there, we can do that, which is very easy just by moving around your house. This guy's going to tell us what our humidity is going to be. But at the same time, you know, if it kind of gets too wet or anything happens, your humidifier is still going to be going on and not wrecking your environment to your mushrooms. So here's where the fun comes in. So this is going to be our cycle timer. The top one is going to be how long it's going to be on for. This is when we want it to come on. So we can have it come on every 5 minutes, we can have it come on every 30 minutes, or every hour. What I like to do is usually set it to once an hour for 30 seconds. And that works for most species that this is going to come with. Now, if you're using it for any exotics, you might want to, you know, have that come on every 10 minutes. And you might want that humidification to be a little bit longer. So you can go all the way up to 30 minutes. But I would recommend maybe like 5, saying for, you know, maybe an exotic or something like that, subtropical species. So plugging our humidifier into our cycle timer, we're going to take our little cord here. All right, now taking our tank, taking our hose, it's going to stick it in there. Now, like we mentioned, they do come with suction cups, so if you want to kind of place it anywhere in your cabinets or closets or anything like that, you can definitely do that. Now, taking our cycle timer, we're going to kind of just turn that bad boy on, just so we can get this thing nice and fogged up. Now, you always want to make sure your humidifier is actually being turned on too. So as you see, our green lights turned on there. And it does have 3 different cycles, so it could be a little bit of humidification, not that much humidification, and then a lot of humidification. It's getting all nice and foggy in there, and we have the fog coming out of all the little holes. That's what we talk about when we're talking about positive pressure. So as that's bringing air in, it's basically pushing all of the contaminants away from it. So, and if it gets any water buildup, like we mentioned, it comes with a little drainage here that you can just unplug, let it drain out, and put back in there. But that's going to be our H2Shroom Fruiting Chamber and the different methods that you can actually use when you're fruiting in this chamber. So you can buy the tank, you can buy it with the stuff that you need, but we just want to kind of make it a little bit more simple for you, a lot more automated and easier to get your mushrooms quicker. So thank you for watching, and we'll see you next time.